Good morning and welcome to Norcal APEX Accelerator's introductory webinar series, How to Do Business with the Government. Today, we are joined by some fantastic guest speakers with A New America. Oh. My name is Amanda Anderson. I'm the program coordinator for Norcal APEX Accelerator. And the main presentation will be presented today by Liz Brazil, one of our fantastic procurement specialists with Norcal APEX Accelerator. But before we move on, we do have our guest speakers. Shatine is the new director for the San Jose Women's Business Center. And this is a fantastic resource that I'll let her tell you a bit more about.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much, Amanda and Liz, for having us here today from A New America. We really appreciate the opportunity to collaborate with you and to participate with you on this really wonderful presentation. So as you mentioned, my name is Shantine Koplow. I'm the new director here at A New America Women's Business Center in San Jose. A New America Community Corporation is very proud to host two of the 4 women's business centers in the U.S. Small Business Administration's San Francisco district. In fact, women's business centers represent a national network of over 100 educational centers throughout the United States and its territories, which are designed to assist women in starting and growing small businesses. So there are very many organizations like us across the United States. WBCs seek to level the playing field for women entrepreneurs who still face unique obstacles in the business world. SBA's Office of Women's Business Ownership, or OWBO, oversees the WBC network, which provides entrepreneurs, especially women who are economically or socially disadvantaged, comprehensive training and counseling on a variety of topics in several languages. A New America Women's Business Center in San Jose provides training, counseling, and other support services to help women entrepreneurs start and successfully grow their businesses. And in addition, the center supports women business owners. We provide one-on-one counseling, training, guidance to folks in preparation for working with APEX Accelerators. And so we would be more than happy to work with you on preparing for that opportunity. And again, we do provide those meetings one-on-one to really tailor and contour the meeting to your needs. So we look forward to hopefully meeting with some of you in the future. And thank you so much again to Amanda and Liz for having us here today. We really appreciate it.
Of course, and we're so glad that you could join us for this one, particularly as the introductory webinar. We love to feature other resources than ourselves, as there are so many no-cost or low-cost resources that our clients and our network can take advantage of. So thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure. Thank you.
And then one short little spiel about another resource, APEX Accelerators. We are a federally funded program through a grant, and we are funded to help businesses just like you contract with both the federal, state, and local governments. We can help at any level, but our goal is to assist you with training and education so that you can jump into that government market. Our program, being a federally funded program, is nationwide. So we have 96 APEX accelerators that you can connect with, and all of our resources and assistance and services are at absolutely no cost. In no way, shape, or form will you be ever asked to pay for any of our services, because we really are here to help you. And as you can see, we have quite a good number of that 96 centers within California. To specify a little bit, for Norcal APEX Accelerator, we offer our services to Northern California, Northern Coastal California. As you can see in this map on the right-hand side of this screen, we serve 15 counties within California. And again, you're not within those 15 counties. There is a local APEX Accelerator that can help you. It's just not going to be us. So we offer our services through three main pillars, and these are how you're going to get essentially any assistance through an APEX Accelerator. You can get set up with one-on-one counseling where you can meet with a procurement specialist like Liz Brazil, and they'll be able to sit down with you over Zoom and go through your specific situation with your company, maybe help you get some certifications, help you through some registrations, or even help you with your proposals, or like the goal should be, help you with contract compliance once you win that contract. Our second gold star service really is our custom bid matching program. And so this is a service that our program, the APEX Accelerator, actually pays for and is able to offer to you at no cost. And this invaluable service scrapes all of the contracting websites online, and from local to state to federal, and it'll look for opportunities that meet the criteria that you set down with your counselor. And it'll email you all of those contracting opportunities directly to your inbox. I know some of our clients get emails daily, some get them weekly, but it's always looking for opportunities that are relevant to you by location, by industry, by service type. And it takes a lot of the guesswork out of finding these opportunities, because that can be quite a challenge in and of itself. And finally, our third pillar of resources that we offer is all of our trainings and the resources on our website. You're actually taking advantage of one of these, our webinars that we put on throughout the year at absolutely no cost. And if you haven't had a chance to check out our website, that is also a fantastic resource that you can use for local contracting, federal certifications, state certifications, and so much more. I highly recommend checking out our website as well as our upcoming training events, because the key thing here, you don't have to be within our service area. You don't have to be a client with us. You can be from the other side of the United States, but you can still attend our webinars, and you can still visit our website and still utilize those resources. So it really is a broad resource offering. So as a little note, in 2022, and we are waiting for our 2023 statistic update, we were able to help our clients win more than $900 million in government contracts, which is amazing. So please do feel free to reach out to Norcal APEX Accelerator if you're within our service area. And if not, please do reach out to your local APEX Accelerator. And I will note that there are links to do both in the slides that you'll be receiving. So with that, I will go ahead and pass it off to Liz.
Hi, good morning, everyone, and I hope that you're having a wonderful day so far. I'm here in Alameda County, and it's a beautiful, beautiful day. My experience with APEX, I have to remember to call it APEX because sometimes I still call it PCAC. But basically, I started working in APEX in 2019. Prior to that, I had over 35 years experience in local agency procurement. And that includes the Bay Area Rapid Transit, the Alameda County Transportation Commission, SamTrans, and lastly, I worked at Santa Clara Valley VTA as a DBE program manager / business diversity program manager. Before we get started, I want to read this disclosure to you. The information provided herein is accurate to the best presenter's ability at the time of the presentation. Some or all of the provisions mentioned herein could or may be changed by the current administration with or without prior notice. So next. The agenda for today is to learn what is government contracting, how to determine if selling to the government is right for you, how to get started, marketing to government, where to find bid opportunities, and the steps for success. Those are our agenda for today. So next, the first thing that we need to know is what is government contracting. When the term government contracting is used, it refers to doing business with any level of government, whether it's federal, state, county, city, tribal, and so on. This webinar is designed to provide you with an overview of the unique advantages of government contracting. Learn to be ready to work with government agencies and understand the funding source that dictates the procurement processes. It will cover many of the critical aspects needed before you start approaching these government agencies. Marketing to government agencies provide a tremendous opportunity for small businesses. In order for small businesses to succeed, you must understand the specific needs of the agency and be prepared to offer sensible and cost-effective solutions. Learn about your prospects and determine if you have the capacity and the resource to help deliver projects and programs. There are many areas of contracting involving purchasing, professional services, public works, which includes construction. Learn to find these contracting opportunities. My biggest takeaway for you is to learn the basics of doing business with government agencies. They say that big journeys start with small steps, and I truly believe that. As Amanda mentioned, in 2022, $900 million were awarded to small businesses with assistance from APEX Accelerators. So I want you to be one of those so that in 2023, we will exceed the $900 million. Okay, next. In here, we have a lot of industries for government contracting. We have public works, as I mentioned, construction, A&E, professional services. We have all kinds of various supplies like office supplies, janitorial services, IT, medical suppliers, transportation, and so on. The less common industry is anything federally illegal because we do provide assistance for federally funded contracts. Restaurants, the government agency normally do not have a lot of contracts for restaurants, but once in a while they may have catering opportunities. I've never run into any bars. Entertainment, I was surprised. One time, UCSF hospital was looking for somebody to entertain children. So you just never know, but it's very uncommon to have that. Clothing retailers and luxury items. So next. This is a sample list of items that's purchased. For example, the Pelican Bay State Prison. The prison will order, ammunition, clothing, construction, facility equipment, housekeeping, food. So, when they say the government buys everything, it does. But you should learn which are the most common things they will purchase. Janitorial equipment, the food, uniforms, office supplies are the common ones. And of course, lately with COVID, we also have some medical supplies that all agencies had been purchasing. So next. When you learn about the government structure, normally there's an agency, and you may have the capacity to be prime contractor, but in large projects, it's more likely you're going to be participating as a subcontractor. When I was working with Santa Clara Valley VTA, we had a multi-million-dollar contract to extend the BART project to San Jose. One contract alone was worth over $800 million. So there was over 100 subcontractors, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and so on. So what you need to do is look up all these contracting opportunities. And if you have the capacity to join as a prime, you can do that. And also there's opportunities to be partners. If not, we can also help you be a subcontractor and reach out to the prime contractors. We normally receive a lot of notification from the primes seeking help from small businesses and disadvantaged business enterprise as their subcontractors, because some of the primes are required to meet certain requirements. So if it's federally funded, they may have a DBE goal, which is a disadvantaged business enterprise. If it's only state funded, they may have a disabled veteran, or they may have a small business goal. And in those cases, if you are registered or certified, you may meet those requirements. So next, recipe for success. A lot of times you have to really consider when you're considering working for government agencies, look and see if you are ready, because in order to be successful, you have to have this established business. You may have to have a business plan. And we also have a partner agency, a Small Business Development Center, that can help you with your small business plan. Financial stability, past performance, market research to find out what the government's buying. And a lot of times, especially at this time, you have to be e-commerce capable. You know, a lot of the clients will have their normal website, and then they may have a tab that says government. And that allows the government to easily go into your website and go directly to the government section. So Norcal APEX can assist you in reviewing to make sure that you're ready for government contracting. So next, how to get started. Okay, Amanda kind of mentioned this a little bit, is, you know, sign up, apply for APEX Accelerator assistance. It's free. You know, I can never say enough about, you know, having somebody help you get registered, get certified, look for contracting opportunities, help you prepare your proposal and bids for free. So I get excited, you know, when I do meet a client who needs assistance, and, you know, they realize that everything we do is free. The next thing is identify your target agencies. Who do you want to work with? If you were in construction, you have trucking, it's very likely, you know, you're going to target either the state or the federal, right? So we can help you identify those agencies for you. Another thing too is a lot of the classification codes, when government agencies are looking for registration or certification, you will be classified under a specific code. And those are the North American Industrial Classification System or the United Nations Services Products codes. And when you register, you have to identify what's your NIC codes or UNSVSE code. So when they're searching their database and they're looking for somebody who has electrical services, they'll type in their code and they'll find you. If you don't have the code identified in your registration, then the chances of you getting selected for those services are almost zero, right? So we got to make sure that when you register or you get registered, that you have your correct codes. If you are interested in the state, we have Cal eProcure, which is the California State Marketplace. If you are considering working for the federal, then you need to be registered with SAM. If you are not registered in SAM, you cannot get a contract in SAM. We also have the small business database called the Dynamic Small Business Search. Then they can search for different types of services and supplies that you provide. And once you're registered with SAM, you will also be put in the small business database. Oh, the next one is very exciting. We help you with your capability statement, and one of our NorCal specialists, James Forrest, just updated this template, which is really, really nice. And later on, I'll describe that more in detail. Make sure your website is government friendly. We can give you some pointers. As I mentioned earlier, some people who works with government agency will have a government tab. It's a little thing that you can add on your website, but it really helps the contracting officers. Okay, next. Science and Socio-Economic certifications. As I mentioned, the state of California has a small business enterprise program that has a 25% goal. If the project is only state funded, then they will put a small business goal. They also have the disabled veteran business enterprise. And the nice thing about it is sometimes you'll get set aside contracts for small businesses or disabled veteran, and it will really help you. And considering that the small business preference sometimes can go up to 5%. So even though your bid is 5% higher, because you're a small business, you will have that small business preference. So that even though your award is $105,000, when they're reviewing that, your bid is coming down as $100,000. So, we can walk you through, we can help you get certified, and we can also help you set up your keywords and your classification codes. And the next one is the federal certification. So when you sign up with SAM, you can click on these items that you can get self-certified. But also, once you're registered with SAM, you can also get a women-owned small business certification. It's not an easy process, but we can walk you through it. It normally takes 90 days for them to review it, and we can help you with that. We also have veteran-owned small business that we can assist you. Hub zone for historically underutilized business zone. This is an exciting thing because they just remapped some of the hub zone areas. So if you're interested, we can go and review your address for your business and see if you qualify for hub zone. We also have the 8A program. This is an 8 or 9 year type of commitment. There are certain requirements that we can review with you to ensure that you are eligible for these programs. And lastly, the disadvantaged business enterprise. As I mentioned earlier, this is mostly for transportation projects. As you know, the Biden administration just approved some of the infrastructure projects with a multi-billion-dollar funds set aside to improve transportation-related projects like the bridges, the highways, and so on. So If you want to take advantage and you are eligible, we can assist you of getting DBE certified. Next. Local contracting is a great way to wet your feet, okay? As I mentioned, I worked for 35 years for local agencies. The Bay Area Rapid Transit is a local agency that is covering counties in the Bay Area. So you have Santa Clara VTA is also another local agency. But in addition, we have all of the county in the state. We have all the cities. We have a lot of the special districts, and people don't realize, you know, when you work with a school district, that's also a local agency. So learn how to get started. The reason I like the local contracting is because they don't have as much requirements as the state or federal. So sometimes when you're reviewing the contracts or you're looking at the procurement documents, it's a little bit more simple process to get in. So in here, also, in addition, take advantage of the local business preferences, you know, get certified as local business. If you are in Alameda County, normally you can get certified with the cities or the transportation agencies. Like the city of Oakland will certify you for local business. San Francisco will also certify you. So the list of local resources, local agency resources are listed in our website. So next. Capability statement. You know, as I said, I was kind of excited that one of our procurement specialists had updated this. A capability statement is normally referred to as a resume for your business. You know, there's a lot of information that you can put in there, just like your resume when you're applying for a job, right? You have an introduction about yourself, your core competencies, your education, and so on. But capabilities for your statement will have a brief intro paragraph, your core competencies, what makes you different from other competitors, your key clients, past performance. Codes and certifications are very important because a lot of the contracting officers from various agencies will look at that. When I was working as a procurement officer, that was one of the things I would look at first, you know. So have that information, your contact, your website, any photos, because, you know, photos have 1,000 words, right? So I love looking at photos, but again, be very selective. Focus on what you do. Don't just put a sunset there and say, okay, this looks nice, but no. If you're doing electrical, maybe you want to put electrical. If you're doing trucking, maybe you want to put some of your trucks. So be selective and, you know, let us know if it can help. Next. Here's the sample one. And as I mentioned, this has been just revised. So take a look at it. There's a brief introduction paragraph, your core competencies, differentiators, with what makes you different, past performance. You know, I like to have one page because it's very short, and sometimes you only have a contracting officer only have like a minute or two to review it. So if you can put it in one page, that's perfect. If not, do not exceed more than 2 pages. Next. And we also have a contracting ready website. So there's a website. You should update it to make sure it's relevant to the type of work that you do. Have a government tab. Attach a link to your capability statement. always include registrations and certifications. It really shows that, you know, especially for agencies that do have goals and preferences, it will show that, you know, you will meet those requirements. Include all your codes that pertains to your business, you know, don't leave it out, because again, you're missing out by leaving your codes. Most recent projects, you know, they always said the best marketing that you have is your most recent project. So highlight that. Past performance history, and, you know, make sure it's easy to navigate. You know, people don't get lost, or it's like, okay, where is it? Make it easy. Okay, next. Here's an example of one of the websites, right? They have their logo on the top, they have the home, and then they have the government tab, as I mentioned. And in here, you know, the company overview, your current and previous contracts. You may want even to take some of your capability statement and put it in here, right? But of course, you're going to also have a link to your capability statement. Okay, next. Here's another example. They have the clients, so they put in all of their logos there. And then they have the GSA, their contract holder, so they put all of their codes. And next. Marketing to government. So this is something that I like to work with my client, is developing a strategic marketing plan to target your prospects. Oops. And, you know, for example, if you know there's certain agency that purchase certain products, then tailor it accordingly. For example, we had a client who did prison uniforms, or a client who was working with the CAL FIRE uniforms. You know, do your market research and find out who purchases those type of supplies. So in County Procure, you can go in there and look at past purchases or past awards. So you can see out of 150 agencies who purchase these type of products or uniforms. In addition, we also have FedMine, and we also have, oh my goodness, what's the other one? FedMine and
GovSpend.
CalSpend, yeah.
GovSpend.
GovSpend, and that will help you also find out and target who buys what you sell, okay? So in addition to that, we also have quite a few networking events with government agency, prime contractors, or other small businesses. If you have an opportunity to attend those, please also go to those networking events. We did one recently now, that in person, and I find that really, really useful, because you get an opportunity not only to talk to contracting officers, but you will learn what their needs are. And that is one of the most important things to do, is to learn what type of materials or supplies that they need. Establish a relationship, you know, it goes a long ways. So anytime you attend the expos, matchmaker, conferences, you know, make sure you give them your card, or let them, you know, scan your QR codes, but follow up with them, you know. By the way, Miss Jane Smith, I had met you at this government conference or, expo or matchmaker, and follow up with them, build a relationship. Participate in training. There's a lot of things you can learn in training. This is one of our events here and how to do government, all right? So you have people from a new America that you can meet. So also work small business representatives. Each agency normally have one of these officers that you can work with. Also, like Caltrans, we just did another presentation with Caltrans, and out there, the small business liaison officers were available to assist and to help out. And lastly, small dynamic business search. That is a great way to advertise. Once you are registered with SAM, your name will be added there if you have that information. So include your capability narrative, include your keywords, include your NIC codes. And if somebody is searching in the dynamic small business search, they'll find your information, okay? So next. Where to find bid opportunities? We actually had another website in our that helps you with finding bid opportunities, right? But local agency websites, if you are registered with the city, the county, special districts, and so on, they'll automatically send you information the minute that it's advertised, okay? Otherwise, if you're not registered, a week or two might pass and the bid is due and you don't have the opportunity to review it and to make decision whether to bid or not. So, register with local agency. And next thing is we also have Cal eProcure and contractor websites. In Cal eProcure, you can register, create an account, and you'll be notified. Also, if you see some other projects that you're interested, you can advertise and opt in and say, you provide painting services. And if they need a sub to do that specific type of work to carve out, then, by advertising it, they'll see you, that you're interested in participating as a sub. SAM, as you know, is one of the things you have to register in order to get federal contracts. But by being a client of APEX Accelerator, you will receive free bid match. There's normally a fee for bid match, but APEX is paying for your participation in the bid match. The nice thing about it is once you are set up by your procurement specialist, every day you will receive an email with all the bid match notices that matches your keywords, your NIC codes, and so on. So that's really, really a great service that's available to you by signing up with Norcal APEX. We also have procurement podcasts by Acquisition Gov. You can also go to your Builders Exchange and they will help you not only look for bid opportunities, but they'll also assist you in reviewing the plans and specs. Okay, and that's free. There's no cost in there. So there's a lot of opportunities where to find bid opportunities. And if you are not a client of Norcal APEX, I would highly suggest that you apply. Okay, next. So in summary, here are 10 steps to success. Determine if you're ready for government contracting. Apply for APEX Accelerator services. Complete the Getting Started checklist. Get certified. You know, you can get federal certifications, you can get state certification, you can get local agency certifications. But the nice thing about it is most of the time you just have to update your information, but you're certified until you're no longer eligible, okay? And create your capability statement. A template is ready for you to just enter your information. That's the nice thing about, you know, having that. Just like a resume, there may be several formats. It doesn't matter, right? All it matters is you have to have those specific information in your capability statement. Update your website, network and build relationships, okay? Right now, you're networking. So I would try to meet other participants and see if there's any opportunities out there. Locate bid opportunities, right? We can help you find one, we can help you review it, we can help you submit it. If you fail, try again, okay? For me, failing is an option for me to learn, because even when you submit a bid, you have the opportunity for debriefing to learn where your strengths are, where your weaknesses are, and it's a great way, okay? And lastly, win contracts, okay? In 2023, I want to exceed the $900 million that was awarded, okay? And I'm hoping that with you participating, you will help us meet that goal of exceeding the $900 million, okay? So I think that's it for me, and I'm going to turn it back to Amanda. I just want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to present this webinar, and let us know how we did.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Liz. That was a great presentation. And like Liz said, please do get connected. If not with Norcal APEX Accelerator, get connected with your local APEX Accelerator. Again, we're a nationwide program and we're absolutely no cost. Who can say no to no cost assistance on something that can make you money? So please do sign up with Norcal APEX Accelerator, or again, you will be getting the slides, so you'll be able to find the link to find your local APEX Accelerator if you are out of our service area. Our procurement specialist team are absolutely amazing. I'm astonished at the work that they do every day. And like Liz said, we want to beat our previous statistic, and only you can help us with that. So before we go into questions, I did want to let you know about a couple upcoming events that you may be interested in attending. The first one is going to be a little bit later in this month, the Navy Gold Coast Small Business Procurement event. And this is a large conference that the Department of the Navy puts on in San Diego. And the big conference, huge networking event, and it also includes a matchmaker. So even if you're new to contracting, if you can attend this matchmaker, it can be a great introduction to what that is and what you really need to be successful in that situation. Another event for more Northern California folks is also in person, and that's the Great Redwood Trail Community Workshop. And this is actually for a fairly new project up here in Northern California that'll be converting old rails, train rails that run down the middle of California and converting those into a multi-use community path, essentially. And while this workshop is more of a community outreach, this can be a great networking opportunity for any local businesses who may want to get on those contracts once they come out. So if you attend this community workshop, it'll be easier for them to come up with your name if they already know you once contracts are coming out. So networking is always key to government contracting. And then we do have a couple other ones there at the end of August that we're partnering with Caltrans on. And I believe Liz will be a part of these as well. And she'll be letting you know how to find Caltrans and state government contracting opportunities on August 29th. And then they will have another presenter helping you figure out where to find federal contracting opportunities on the 30th. And you can always check out our training events, as we do have a couple that we are just setting up and getting in the works, like our capabilities statement webinar that we're planning for the end of August. And that registration should be opening very soon, so keep an eye out for it. And with that, we'll go ahead and go into our questions. And we do have a couple. So let's go ahead and start with Kareem. Kareem asked, how long do you need to be in business to start working with the government in a contracting capacity?
You know, it really depends, right? I had a client who started working right away with local agency. And, you know, the biggest thing is learning the procurement process, right? How to review a proposal, deciding whether you want to bid or not, and also learning all of the requirements. And some agencies will put a checklist in there, but other agencies will leave it up to you. So it really depends on the, you know, how complex. I normally recommend to my clients to start with local and then state. It's not as complex. Now, the federal one has the federal acquisition regulations. So if you are interested in doing federal contracting, register with SAM and learn about those regulations. Thank you.
Fantastic. And then we have Holland. He was asking how can they search for an insurance broker for insuring a cybersecurity business? Are you familiar with how they can go about searching out insurance companies?
No, I am not. But if they register and apply with Norcal APEX, we have procurement specialists such as Joe Moore, who's very familiar with cybersecurity and its requirements.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of working with a team of procurement specialists, is there's just so much information in the government contracting space that a single person cannot contain it all. But with our team, our counselors can reach out to other counselors on that team who may have more information, may have better expertise. And so while you are assigned to one counselor and will primarily work with one counselor when you sign up for our services, you really do get the expertise of the entire team. Fantastic. And it looks like that's all the questions we have. We do still have a bit of time. So Liz, if you want to go ahead and leave us with what would be your best advice for folks who are just starting in government contracting?
You know, I can never say enough that we have 8 counselors with approximately 35 years of experience in procurement. Sign up with APEX Accelerators, you know, and review what's available out there. There's a checklist to make sure you're ready. There's a list of items of things for you to do, and we can help you. We can help you and walk you through the process of getting registered, getting certified. Just like what we always say, you know, contracting is very daunting. Don't do it by yourself. Let us help you and, you know, and walk you through the process.
Fantastic. And Shantine and Darlene, if you want to go ahead and pop onto camera, I want to thank you both so much for being here. It's always a pleasure having you join us for these events, and I look forward to having you guys on more of these.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate it.
So that's another thing too. We have a lot of resources available. A New America is just one of many. So take advantage of those.
Absolutely.
We welcome all.
Fantastic. And I do see a couple more questions that kind of filed in. I'll go ahead and take note of those and get the answers emailed out to you fine folks. But for the webinar event, that is the end of our presentation. I want to thank you all once again for joining us today. It's always a pleasure having a great group with great questions and amazing speakers and guest presenters. Thank you all so much for joining us. Before you leave, I do want to let you know that you will be redirected to our feedback survey. If you have the time, we do always appreciate your input and feedback into these events. We really do these events for you and for your education and your knowledge. And if we can be doing things better for you, or if we're doing really great in some areas, please do let us know. It's invaluable in planning our upcoming webinars. And with that, I hope you all have a fantastic day and thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you much.
Thank you.
Bye.